You guys, it's 6:04. Why are you late? You guys are late. No, I'm late. Hey, sorry about that, guys. I had minor tech issues. I'm still having minor camera issues or laptop issues. Folks, thanks for being here. Thanks for being to Lenny Schmidt's Quarantine. This is the third to last show of this particular podcast. And then it's gone. Then it's done. The show was specifically put together for artists and entertainers to stay in touch with people and their viewing public and their fans, their supporters during the quarantine shutdown when things were all quiet for us for the last year and a half, and we seem to be crawling out of that now, hopefully. So, hopefully, this show will end in next week. If we go back into lockdown, which I hope we don't go back into lockdown. I can't take another lockdown. But if we go back into lockdown, we'll come back because we're in quarantine again. But we're not in quarantine. Whatever. Thanks for being in the show. Do me a favor. First of all, like the video. Just like it. You haven't seen the whole thing yet, but watch it and trust me, you're gonna enjoy it. It'll be great. Do me a favor. Like the video. It helps me out. Give it a thumbs up. If you go right down there below my right down there, give it a little thumbs up. Share the video. You can even do that. Share it. Show it to some of your friends. That helps me as well. Apparently, the people at YouTube really give a shit about that. So make sure that you like the show and you can even share it. Subscribe to the channel. That helps me out. Bam! Look, you can subscribe right. Click on my face right there. If you click on my face, it takes you to a little subscription page. So sit back, relax. And enjoy Lenny Schmidt's Quarantine Comedy. Today's guest, my good friend, the one and only Mr. Steve Goodie is here, and he will be out here in 1 second. Hold on, as usual. Whatever. Let's give it a shot. Hang in there. Enjoy the show. Yeah, that's the fancy intro. Hi, guys. It's Lenny Schmidt's Quarantine Comedy. Thank you very much. It's good to be here. I have a little camera issue. The camera looks fine, but the backdrop, usually I zoom in to where you can't see the holes on these things. You can't. Usually it looks a little more professional than it. Who am I kidding? It never looks professional. It never really looks good. But I have my lights back because here's the deal. If you shoot, let me tell you, if you're a professional and you shoot for a profession, listen, if you shoot for a profession, light is very important when you shoot anything. It's very, very, very important. And I strategically set up my room so that I'm right by the big double window. So I use daylight to shoot almost all of the time. It's brilliant on my part because I don't need lights and it looks really good. Only time it's an issue is around this time of year when the sun starts to shift just a little bit and the sun doesn't bounce off the building next door like it usually does. So now I'm in the shade. So I had to pull out my lights today. So there you go. And it'll continue to be that way for the next few months into October when light changes or time change, and then it'll be dark around this time. You guys don't care about any of this, do you? No, I don't blame you. Good call. Hey, guys, how are you? Thanks for being here. Once again, like the video. Please subscribe to the show. There's only 3 episodes left. This is one. Next week, 2 more. I can't thank all of you enough who are here to watch and support the show on a regular basis. Thank you very much. You're all here again today. Real quick, some of you know, I had a show last night at the Ha Ha Cafe over here in North Hollywood. And the very lovely and gracious Rachel Zimmerman and Robin Greenberg stopped by the show to surprise me and didn't tell me. I always enjoy that when I hit the stage and I get 5 jokes in and I look down and I see the only people laughing are the 2 people that support the show. So I'm like, why? Who thinks I'm funny? Oh, it's you guys. Okay, that makes complete sense. Anyway, they were at the show last night. Then we went out and got some appetizers and drinks. And that's it, man. That's cool. I didn't really go through much news today, guys. I didn't have time to check the news information. I do know this. If you're a cruiser or a cruise fan or a cruise person, things are going pretty well on the ships right now. The Carnival Vista has 26 crew members with COVID, so that's not great. That's not great at all. And I sincerely hope that they get that figured out. I have a friend on that ship right now. Caroline Picard is on that ship. I don't know who else would be on that ship, but that's the only ship that's got like a lot of people. So everything else seems to be going pretty well. The ship I'm getting on next week, or I'm hopefully getting on next week, is the Carnival or the Norwegian Encore in Alaska, and if I believe that ship is fully vaccinated. I believe the guests are as well in Norwegian. In fact, Norwegian, here's something. Norwegian just won a lawsuit in Florida, of all places, that they can indeed ask for proof of vaccination when people get on a ship. So, as many of you know, the wonderful governor in Florida, who will be running for president in a couple of years, has vetoed all that stuff. So he's making it very difficult for people to live, really. I'll be honest with you. He's making it very difficult for people to live. Look, you guys know how I feel about the vaccine. I'm vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. My kids are vaccinated. I think you have a right to not get vaccinated if you don't want to, but then you have got to understand the repercussions you're going to deal with, and you can't ignore the vaccination. Also, you're kind of stupid if you don't get it. I don't understand why you're not getting it. It's at this point you're just trying to make a point to someone, and I don't know who. But I do have friends in Florida that constantly keep telling me, especially because I live in California for the last year. They go, man, it sucks to be you. You're all locked down, man. We're wide open. Everything's fine here. We're great. We're awesome. They had 700 kids get COVID yesterday in Florida. So Florida's in bad shape. Their numbers are higher now than they were in March of 2020. So think about that. Well, that is a bad example, but they're still higher than they were last year. March of 20 was right at the beginning of all this. So, but their numbers are higher than they have ever been. Their numbers have gone up a lot. I think they had for 3,800 cases yesterday. I think something like that. It's rough if you're in Florida. Speaking of Florida, let's go to the people. Let's go to the board because I know a lot of you guys are in Florida. So let's say hello to everyone in the board. Right off the top, Keith Runyon. Keith, you're in Florida. How are you, buddy? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. There's Robin Greenberg, who was here last night. Hi, Robin. Good to see you. We went out and had a drink. Robin had one vodka and got all goofy. Brenda Runyon is here. Rachel Zimmerman, of course, is here. And that looks like that's everybody. Vince and Tammy, they might be camping. Oh, and Alex is here. Everybody, one more time for Alex. Come on, wait. Oh, we're going to do this the right way. Yes. He gets applause every day. Congratulations, brand new baby for Alex and his wife. They're at home now. His wife got home yesterday. If you watch the show regularly, you know him and his wife had a baby just 2 days ago. So congratulations, and thanks for being here. Why aren't you helping your wife with the baby? That's what I want to know. How are you getting away with that? Is this some bullshit? I got work to do, and she's out there feeding the baby. I want to know if that's happening. Yeah, I thought so. Haha, yourself, Alex. All right. I know you will, Alex. Thank you guys very much, man. They're both sleeping right now. Oh, good for you. These are valuable times for you. If the wife and the baby are sleeping. I remember those days. I would do anything. I would play a video game. Back then, I was a big video gamer, and they go to sleep, and I would play Madden football immediately. When everyone went to sleep, I'm like, I get to play Madden football, and that's what I would do. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here, man. Thanks so much for supporting the show again, as always. Just real quick before we get moving, if you're watching the show for the first time, we don't have sponsors. We don't have commercials. We don't have any of that stuff. We don't have anyone that supports the show. Actually, I take that back. The people who do support the show are the people I just mentioned, the people that watch the show on a regular basis, the people that support the channel, the page. Many of the guests that have been on the show also support the show. They're great. If you want to support the show, you want to help us out, you can like the show, like I said, like the video. You can share the video. Or if you want to support financially, we're always willing to accept your financial opportunities. Whatever. Go to LennySchmidt.com/if you can. There are numerous opportunities for you to support the show financially. You can do PayPal. You can do a credit card. We take as little as $1 and as much as $10,000. There's actually a $10,000 button on my page. I've been using it for over a year now, and I don't want to say how many people have done it total, but it rhymes with no one. It rhymes with 0 people. Right. So, but it's there. I'm just saying, you never know. One guy might get drunk and slap 10 grand on his debit credit card, and then call me 2 days later. I made a terrible mistake. Yeah, and then I would send him to my my accounting department. The kids at Westview would handle the review. Exactly, the kids at Westview would handle all of that, and they can't handle anything. I think we know that. Let's get to work, folks. This is a great show. I was really excited about this show. I'm going to start. I'm just going to bring him out because I have a bunch of. I mentioned I have a bunch of clips, and he sent me a clip himself. And I looked at his website. I looked at some different stuff, and some of you guys are supporters. Many of you guys are supporters of the Reconnecting Comedy Show, which Steve has been involved in the last 2 of them, I believe. And he's great. He does a lot of great short videos, and I worked with him. I was on his show that he did during the pandemic. That's how we met. We're on the pandemic. That's how we all meet now. We do shows together on the pandemic. So he does some really great videos, and let's just get him out here. Let's stop wasting time. Folks, my good friend, comedian, entrepreneur, song parody genius, give it up, Steve Goodie. There he is. Look, there he is right next to me.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Steve. What's up, buddy?
I'm just pleased you can hear me. We had quite a troublesome tech, but yeah. Hi.
That I got news for you. That was nothing. I've had way troublesome nerves. We had one show where I had to hold the phone next to the microphone so we could get the audio from the guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did that twice. Ironically, same guy. It was the same guy. It was Bill Gorgo. You know Bill Gorgo out of Chicago?
No, I don't.
He's a comic from Chicago. He's been around a long time, and it was the second show was the best because you couldn't see or hear him before he hooked up the phone, or you couldn't hear him. You could just see him, and he started to sweat, and he looked like his head was going to explode. He was so angry because he couldn't figure out the technology.
Neat. I've never seen you with a baseball cap on before, and I got to say, the look, particularly with the headphones and your hair's all hidden under the hat, you're like Louis C.K. with a hat and with pants.
How do you know I have pants on? That's all I got to say.
I'm presuming.
You know that? Okay. You're giving me too much credit, Mr. Goodie. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Well, all right.
Sure, man.
Well, I wear the hat a lot on the show. So, plus, I got a million hats now. You know what? I have a lot of hats only because I'm not traveling now because I always lose hats on planes. Like, I constantly leave a hat on a plane. So, usually, I only have 1 or 2 hats here. Now, I've got like 25 hats. So
now we'll start losing masks on planes.
I already have masks in every pocket. I have to carry 5 masks with me just because I'm screwing up. You know what I mean? I'm constantly making a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, you're a screw up. We know.
I am 100%.
Yeah,
100%. How are you, buddy? Where are you at, man? Where are you at location wise?
I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice.
Of all places.
All right, that's good, man.
Yeah. Why not? I'm in a dumb state. I feel smart. Just try it.
Good. No, I know. I live in California. People look at me like I'm I'm a Nazi. I can't be.
Yeah, but you lived in Florida, so then you feel smart.
Yeah. See, there you go. You could be in Florida. That's true. There'd be 2 ends of the spectrum. Now everybody's left here and gone to Florida. I know a lot of guys that left here and just went to Florida. So how are things for you? Are you traveling yet? Are you doing? Talk to me.
I'm not traveling. The thing that I've regularly done that got shut down was I'm the MC at the world famous Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville, Tennessee, a songwriter mecca where Taylor Swift and Garth Brooks and other people have played at the beginnings of their illustrious careers. Well, that place shut down like everything else in March of 2020, and they just opened up again on July 16th. Okay. And then this past weekend, they closed again because one of our staff members is COVID positive. We're hoping they'll open again, but like 3 weeks is like, hey, we're back, we're having fun, everything's great, and then
no, you're not. What are your state rules there? Are you guys doing masks everywhere or not?
I don't think we have any state rules. We've got an idiot governor who's not quite as bad as Florida's, but he does not like masks. He doesn't like mask mandates. He doesn't like vaccines. He doesn't like anything that would keep people alive. So,
right.
Although Nashville's a little blue dot in a big red state.
Right.
So Nashville's actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think the numbers were 54% vaccinated in Nashville, which is way higher than I thought it was because the state is like 37%.
Yeah, it's the other part of the state that's bringing you down. That's, outside of the city, it's about 87 people not being vaccinated.
Yeah, the city of Nashville went for Hillary Clinton 66%, but they went for Trump 108%. So
wait, the city of Nashville or the state?
The state went.
Damn, like you had me, then you lost me. I was like, that's 172%.
I know. Well, math isn't our strongest thing.
You are in Tennessee. You again, still smartest guy in Tennessee. So fair enough. That's good. That works, man. That very works.
I said I feel smart. I didn't say I was.
That's all you need. All you need is to feel smart. You don't have to be smart. It works for me. It's doable.
Yeah, look at what you've done. Look at the empire you've built.
Dude, look at this. Yeah, look at this cloth backdrop I got. Look at that.
You got to crawl across the top of the screen and pointers that links.
Yeah, I got the crawl.
Oh, by the way, the guy wanted to donate the $10,000, but he can't because he has to go help his wife with the 2-day-old baby.
Oh, is that Alex? Oh, damn it, Alex. Too bad, man. Okay, so close. That's right. That's the best. Oh, well. Maybe
you shamed him out of it.
I probably did. He was probably had his finger on the button, He's like, really? Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go feed the baby then, Mr. Schmidt. I'm like, oh, all right, Alex. I apologize. My bad. So how are you? What's your situation? Are you married? Do you have a family? What's
I am a single person with 3 ex-stepkids, but no actual kids.
Okay, so
It's complicated, but thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, I like to bring up. I like to do that. I ask weird, stupid questions. So during the shutdown, you were shut down pretty much in Nashville by yourself?
Me and a roommate, yes.
Okay.
And we just hunkered down. Now she's back to her job, and I'm running my recording studio. That's what I do when I'm not on stage doing funny stuff. I run a recording studio. This is actually the studio right here.
Yeah.
And that's actually kept fairly busy because I have a lot of customers who can do work remotely. They can be on their end of the connection. I play a lot of musical instruments, so they would just sit here watching if they were here. So they sit at home watching while they're there.
Right.
All they need to do is sing it, and most of my customers have a microphone of some sort at their disposal. They can sing their track, send it back in, and then I mix the whole thing for them. When the shutdown started, I actually cut my prices in half because I'm such a great guy, and business didn't really change that much. Just the amount of money coming in changed, but at least I was able to keep going.
Oh yeah, at least you kept working. Yeah.
Yeah. So
well,
what do you
at least
do?
you
And I keep writing the funny songs and doing the show with Brad Castle.
Dad, that show with Brad was a blast, dude. I love that. You guys had a great show going there, man.
I'd love to have you again whenever you're ready. Let's do it again.
I'm ready, man. Well, that's the thing when I got turned on to you guys, or especially you. I knew Brad for years, and I met you a couple of times where I know I've heard of you. But dude, the videos and stuff you do in the show are great, man. I love all your work. Thanks. I love all of it.
Thanks. I appreciate your low standards.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad that I could compliment you that way. I appreciate it. Well, I want to play a couple of them now, man. I'm going to play one. First of all, let me play the one that you sent me. I'm going to play the one you sent me. All right. So let's do this.
Brand new.
It is brand new. It'll be obvious right from the beginning that this is brand new. Yeah, and so let's just play it, man. Let's do it, and we'll get right back to it, folks. This is Steve Goodie's. What? No. Okay. What?
I said, let's go.
Oh, I thought you said no. I was like, oh, you're right. My bad. Folks, Steve Goodie live. Here we go. Not live, but this is Steve Goodie's newest. It's recorded. You know what I'm talking about.
Delta Spawn. Take 15.
1, 2, 3, 4. Delta Spawn. Damn, we thought this crap was gone. Could it be we're heading back to quarantine? Now the governors of red states have gone and outlawed mask mandates. Seems to me the GOP wants us to die, including kids. I'm sure glad I got my full vaccine. Get vaccinated, you dummies.
It's so heartfelt at the end. It's the way you say that. It's kind of a loving way to go. Just get vaccinated, idiots. Yeah, I love it.
I think I was channeling Michael Rappaport just for a second.
It was adorable. I like the way you did it. I got a little tear in my eye. It was good. Dude, I love that all your stuff. It's awesome because you do a really good job of connecting the social relevance into your songs. That's incredibly talented.
Thanks.
It's amazing. It's cool to watch, and it's obviously you do a good job, man. It's really awesome. Now you play all the stuff, right? You play everything.
Almost everything on most of the songs is all me. If I need a saxophone or a violin, those are things like I always say, if you have to bow it or blow it, I can't do it. But if it's something you can just hit, like a drum or a guitar, and it sounds like it's supposed to sound, then I can probably play it.
Now let me ask you, how much stand-up do you do? You did? I did see.
I'm doing much.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not a full-time stand-up like you and Brad and all them other guys. When I do get on a stage in a stand-up environment, often I have a guitar so everybody can look down on me that way. And I haven't done much of that. I've had the Bluebird gig for 14 years, so I get to do that once a week without having to travel. And that's like, okay, I'm good. That's my fix. That's fine. And I usually, when things were normal, there's lots of stages in Nashville where I can get on stage and do something funny.
Yeah.
And I make more money staying at home running my studio than I ever made on the road as a comedian. So I haven't really pushed it that much. But starting in like 2016, an old friend of mine, we used to be a musical comedy duo in Los Angeles in like 2000 when we both lived there. In 2016, he had moved to Austin and I lived here in Nashville. And he got us a gig at the Oregon Country Fair, which is outside of Eugene, Oregon. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's like the mother of all Ren fairs. But it's not a Ren fair because they don't do the hats with the horns and the humans playing chess. It's just a bunch of hippies in the woods eating, drinking, dancing, and listening to music. And it's
nice.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and they wanted us to play on the paths, do our funny songs on the pathways when people are walking back and forth between the things. And we said, great. And they said, we have $300 for the two of you. And like, it'd cost one of us $1,000 to get there.
Yeah, right.
So I thought, that doesn't add up that good. And it occurred to me, a lot of my musical friends who are not funny, they do house concerts a lot. They bring their cello to someone's house and they gather some friends and they have wine and cheese and they listen to the cello and it's all wonderful. Well,
Right.
why can't we do that with comedy? Well, the obvious reason is because you don't do comedy in your house, as you know. If your mom says, hey, do your little sketch for everybody at Thanksgiving, you say, no, Mom, I'm not doing the gynecologist sketch at Thanksgiving. You do that at the comedy club. But then I just decided, let's just turn that on its head. I got on Facebook. Who lives between Nashville, Tennessee and Eugene, Oregon, who would like to have me come tell stupid stories and sing stupid songs in their living room? And this was like 3 weeks' notice. And I got 3 of them on the way out and 4 of them on the way back. So I actually worked my way across the country. Pretty large drives, but at least it wasn't just one big drive for no money.
Right.
And that was like 2016. In 2017, I booked about 30 of those. And then in 2018, I had about 150 of them. And 2019 was about that again. And then 2020 was supposed to be huge. I had like 3 tours set up. It was all, I'm doing it all myself and it's all great. And then everything just went right into the crapper.
Right.
So I started doing some of those online, called Steve's Big Dumb Show. And I got quite a few of those. And that was through like October or November of last year. And then I just stopped doing it because people are sick of Zoom already. And that was just October, November. I didn't realize we're going to have another, well, who knows how much longer.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm just doing the weekly thing with Brad, and that was fun. I do a top 10 list every week, maybe do a song, and I don't have to do an hour and a half on my own,
Right.
in people's living rooms.
Right.
So I've pretty much, it's just the Thursday show and shows like this where I get to be a wise guy. And hopefully we'll pick it up. We'll pick it up again.
Dude, that's good, man. That's a lot of hustling. You know what I mean? It was especially like before the shutdown to book all those gigs, 30 gigs, blah, 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 across the country. That's a lot of hustling. Mm-hmm. That's good, though, man. That's got to be a cool vibe. I've never heard of that before, and why wouldn't? That would fit very well.
Yeah. There's no money and no potential for anybody to take me to the next level. But the really good thing about it is I can do an hour and a quarter, whatever I want. The waitresses aren't looking at their watches waiting for me to get the hell off the stage. There's no club owner worrying about what his patrons want to hear and what they don't want to hear,
right.
And we have to do 3 shows a night and all that. I can do exactly what I want to do. All I have to do is bring it to someone's house and set up all this gear and then tear it down, go to sleep, drive, set it up, tear it down. That's all I got to do. But I get to do my show over and over and over, however I want to, and it's the only way I can get stronger at really holding an audience for an hour and a quarter.
Well, yeah, because you got to keep performing. Like one of the things I like about the cruise ships is there's a lot of negatives with them, but you do 10 to 14 shows a week. I love that. If I'm there, I'd rather do the shows and write, because I do the show, tape it, write the next day. I write more material on the ship than anything, and it obviously
exactly. I write stuff in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And if your show doesn't go well, it's like you're locked on a boat with your whole audience. Oh, wait.
That's always a great feat. Yeah, I've had crowds where I'll be lucky. Like the longer the cruise, the better it is. I think. Like I do bad with the short cruises. I think because the 3-day cruise is a booze cruise, and it's really just, especially weekends, it's usually a heavy club crowd, and I'm really not a club guy. You know what I mean? I'm not. That's not my vibe. I talk about my kids and divorce, and they don't want to hear about that. They want to talk about TikTok.
I want to hear about that.
I know you do, but you wouldn't be on the 3-day cruise. Yeah, you wouldn't be on the 3-day cruise. That's when it's annoying. Now, when you're doing these house gigs, you could probably do you take tips or sell merch or anything like that? That's got to be a perk, right?
Yeah, usually it's like a $10 suggested donation per person,
right.
And most people will do that. And the few that don't do that are usually made up for by other people who give more than $10. And then I sell CDs as well. So I was averaging a couple $100 a show. Whatever.
Yeah, but I think the huge advantage of that is more so word of mouth generates really well with something like that. Because if you're doing a good show,
it really did start going, particularly in Florida of all things. I got like a bunch of people in Tampa who are just climbing over themselves. We want Steve on Friday. No, we got him on Friday. You can have him on Thursday. I don't want Thursday. I want Saturday. Well, he's got him on Saturday. The whole Bay Area was so weird, and now I don't want to go there ever.
Yeah, now I never want to go back there.
I'm kidding. I'll be back as soon as you guys build a couple more hospitals.
Yeah, you guys are a death trap. I don't want to go down there. Yeah, I saw. We have a couple of viewers here. Hang on, I'm going to go to the board really quick because the Runnions who are regulars that watch the show here, who saw me on they live in the Tampa area. Actually, Brenda and Keith.
Hi, Brenda and Keith. Don't leave the house.
Oh, Keith says guitars are not considered props. It's a little comment he just said. So,
Oh man, I get it from both ends. If I play a music open mic here in Nashville, people get mad at me because I'm playing funny songs and not taking it seriously. And then if I play a comedy open mic, people say you're not really a comedian because you're using your guitar. And is it okay if I just say fuck all of you? Is that fair?
Yeah,
Can I say that?
Fair.
Okay.
Well, in Chicago, there was a big animosity between stand-ups and improvisers. And I studied improv at the I.O. in Chicago. I studied with Del Close and all those guys.
Wow.
And I didn't do it till after I was a road comic for maybe 12, 13 years when I started studying. And some guys there didn't like me. And they were just, you're a stand-up. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know why that's bad. And even then, I would tell my stand-up friends, I got improv. They're like, oh, you're doing improv? I'm like, yes, I don't understand why.
Improv skills are incredibly important to stand-up.
Yes.
I don't know if stand-up skills are really important to improv. But if you can't talk to an audience
right.
who isn't enjoying you, you're never going to get them back.
Well, if you can't listen to them, bro, you got to listen. Improv teaches you to listen as a stand-up. That's the skill you don't have as a stand-up. That's why so many stand-ups are bad actors, because you got to listen to act. You got to listen and react. So improv, it helps your stand-up. It helped my acting immensely because it just teaches you to be present in the moment. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But some guys, like Mike Lucas, who's a guy that was out of Chicago for years, and Cleveland. I think he's in Texas now. But he's a second city guy. He was a guy that did both. And Rob Paravonian. Do you know Rob Paravonian? He's a New York guy.
I do.
I know.
Yeah,
he's also a music guy. I've had him on the show before and does a lot of great. I've always loved those different types of. I never understood the animosity between one performer and another. Like stand-ups would get so pissed.
I think if you're making people laugh, I don't care how you're doing it.
Yeah.
Just make them laugh. I get it. I understand a little the purity thought. You know, if it's pure stand-up and you're only talking and the only sound you make is with your mouth and your body, I get the purity, and that's great that you can do that. But if you have other skills, why is it illegal to use them?
Right. Well, they're doing now, I was just looking, who is it? At the Laugh Factory in Vegas. You know who's there this week is the Redneck Tenors. Have you seen those guys yet?
No.
Oh, they were. I guess they were on America's Got Talent. They first of all, they look exactly like you would think they would look. They're just three. They're like they're three Duck Dynasty guys in overalls, but they do this singing thing where they're like three of them sing, and it's all. They're phenomenal. They're like ridiculously good and funny. So now they're headlining Vegas this week, and people are like, "That's not comedy."
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is great.
I was on America's Got COVID, but it's not as exciting.
It's not as popular. I would think that's a big time show.
Well, it's very popular. It's just not funny.
It's just not funny at all. It's more of a drama. It's more of a, we'll see what happens.
More of a nightmare.
All right, I'm going to play another clip, man. Let's get right to another one. I want to play one. Now, these are clips that I picked. I got to be honest with you. I watched a bunch of stuff you did. I'm going to play this one first because this was my favorite one. Okay? I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll know what it is because it's yours.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, it's yours, so you figure it out.
Well, I spilled something black when my oil rig exploded. The whole mess is icky and they say I'm to blame. Catfish are floating, all the beaches are closing. Black water keeps rolling ashore, what a shame. Oh, black water keeps on flowing. Fill the Gulf soon, but we'll keep refining BP. Oh, black water keeps on growing. Executive goons, we're nickel and diamond BP. Oh, black water keeps on rolling. Up the Mississippi soon, gotta keep on lying BP. Yeah, keep on lying tonight. Gotta say anything. Shareholders gotta think everything's alright. And our high-priced attorneys say there ain't no big worries at all.
This accident had nothing to do with cutting back on safety to save a buck.
I think the partnership that we've got between industry and the government is actually working pretty well. It will continue to be flexed and expanded, and the point here is we are doing everything.
Now if folks complain, I don't care. Don't make no difference to me. I'll just ask Congress for a sweet old bailout. Yeah, I'm gonna meet some oily bureaucrats who like to play along, and I'll be buying all my buddies drinks all round. petroleum. Fill the Delta soon, we won't be resigning. Be full black water reaching Pensacola. Environmental looms, their picket line. And be full black water up to Minnesota. Raise the price of crude, that's the silver line in BP. And keep on lying tonight. Gotta say anything. Tree huggers gotta think everything's alright. With the world at our mercy, it's the Gulf of New Jersey.
You know, I'd like my life back.
Drill, baby, drill.
Drill, baby, drill.
It is safe to drill, and we need to do more of that.
We can do this in an environmentally sound way.
Our companies have done a wonderful job making sure that we are both environmentally sound, but also able to produce the energy.
They do drill today in an environmentally safe way.
Oil rigs today generally don't cause spills. They are technologically very advanced.
The environmentalists are wrong, actually. We can drill safely off the shores of America.
We will drill new wells offshore, and we'll drill them now.
We're gonna screw up most of Dixieland unless Obama gives a big old helping hand. We need a hand out, got a hand out. Hey Obama, some cash would be grand, that's all we want. We tried golf balls, top kills, Costner fans, but nobody stopped the oil from reaching land. We tried a dam, even Kansas spam. Hey, we're desperate, and we've locked and loaded a nuclear bomb. We're gonna smear some gunk on Dixieland, give the brown pelicans a darker tan. Dixieland, give the birds a tan. Instant bronzer, don't you stress about the dolphins, cause they're all gone. It's like the Gulf got drunk at Disneyland, then vomited all over Louisiana. Disneyland, up to catch a can. And Sri Lanka, Katrina looked like a little cold front. All the shrimp and frogs and fish be damned. Soccer mama gotta fuel her minivan. Caravan, on the minivan. Hockey mama gotta drive to the Walmart all day long. No need to import oil from Pakistan when it's lying all over the Alabama sand. Screw Iran and Afghanistan, Venezuela. Just go to the beach and grab tar balls. We gotta feed the grease monkey on your back. Everybody better cut us lots of slack. Cut us slack.
Dude, Steve Goodie. Yeah, that's funny. We oh, come on, dude, with my sound. Come on. Yeah, that's great. You think I'd be good at this?
That's perfect. I'm used to having to wait a couple seconds for the applause now that I'm online.
Yeah, my applause. You should. Yeah, exactly. Right. Set the feeling now. That's the hardest thing about the Zoom thing is the 3-second delay and the awkward like out of nowhere. The laugh kind of gets mixed together. You're like, what is that? I'm going to take that as a laugh. I don't know even what that was, but I'm taking it as a laugh.
Any noise counts as approval.
Dude, I was going to ask you when I was watching this stuff and before we started this conversation, if you thought about taking your act on to cruise ships, but you don't really have to do that. I mean, you don't have to. But if you thought about doing it, you could probably.
Thought about it. Between you and Brad, always asking me.
Yeah, you'd be.
I probably should think about it. And I've only been on one cruise, and it was, get this, February 29th, 2020. I went on my first cruise.
No way. I think I found ground zero of all our problems right there. That's
2 weeks before that. Everybody thought, it's no big deal. It'll go away. It's fine. I was in the just wash your hands and live your life camp.
Yeah.
And then I started getting closer to the date when this is taken off. Like, this is probably a bad idea. And it was only a 4-day cruise.
Right.
So we were back by March 3rd. And by March 3rd, everybody was terrified. And of course, at this point, there are only a couple thousand cases of COVID in the country. So the odds of me getting were way lower then than they are now, but we were taking no precautions because nobody thought you needed to take any precautions.
Right.
But I saw a couple comedians and like I could see this, I guess. Yeah, sure. Why not?
You could do. Here's the only negative I think for you. You could do this. Your songs would be great on a ship. The crowd would love them. And it would be a really good hit. The only negative is they really frown on anything politically motivated or any political statement, which is about 87%.
I got plenty of ones that aren't political.
I know you don't, but you have a lot of stuff that's really good that's politically, you know what I mean? All your stuff about Trump and all that stuff has just been brilliant. So, and the one thing, we got a memo, I don't know, I'm sure Brad got the same memo. In Norwegian, I got a 2-page letter telling us during the election with Hillary, the 2016, no more Trump material. We couldn't do any jokes about anything about Trump. There were so many Trump supporters on a ship, It became a thing. And if you even said the word Trump on stage, you got booed by both sides immediately because, first of all, the left hated him and the right thought you were going to say something bad about him. So you couldn't, they just freaked. And I remember right when it all started, because the day of the election, I was working. I was on a ship the day of the election, and I was getting ready to go do the show. I was doing I was doing the family show, the PG show. And I was watching the numbers come in, and I was on the West Coast, and they're coming in. And you know how that day, 2016, it starts to get away from you, and at some point you're like, oh shit, this is really gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And I'm watching it, and I thought to myself, I go, well, if he wins Florida, it's over. I think if he wins Florida, it's over. And right before I went upstairs, he won Florida. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe this. So I go upstairs and I open my show and I go, hey, welcome to the family show. I go, tons of kids in the room. I go, hey kids, sorry about your country. And I got booed so bad, I couldn't believe it. I'm like. And then I did the whole, when we get back to the States, it'll be like Cars on Fire, and, it'll be the whole, Escape from New York. But they told us for a while, that was the thing. You couldn't do any jokes politically, anything. They just lost their.
At the Bluebird Cafe, where I've worked for many years, they've asked me to keep it neutral.
Right.
And anybody who sings at the Bluebird can sing whatever they want except me.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Doesn't make any sense.
I understand their position. The Bluebird is run by a lot of liberal people, but the clientele is very conservative.
Yeah, that's the problem with the cruise ship.
I
didn't think about it until I started doing ships. How many people on that ship are skew right or conservative or
it's
whatever?
Not surprising.
No, it's not. If you think about it.
Income.
Absolutely, 100%. And I was doing it, and so there was a guy who came up to me in a Norwegian ship once. This is the worst. I asked a friend of mine. I was working with Warren B. Hall. Do you know who he is? He's a comic out of Chicago.
I know the name.
He's a good guy. Funny. He was a black comic out of Chicago. Really funny guy. Really clever. I asked him.
Heard him on Sirius. That's how I know his name.
Yeah, right on. Right. He's a great guy. He's a really great guy. But he's a black comic, and I asked him this after the show because after our show, we were hanging around, and some guy came up to me, and he goes, it was during the midterms. It was 2018. I remember this exactly. And he goes, hey, how do you think we're going to do this week? And I go, what do you mean? How do you think we're going to do? Well, he goes, well, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to hold on to the Senate and stuff. Trump looks like he's doing a good job. And I go, whoa. I go, dude, I'm not on your team. And he goes, what? I go, I'm not. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm not. And he was the third guy that week that came up and made a reference to the fact that I was a MAGA guy or something like that. So I looked at Warren afterwards. And I'm like, dude, I got to ask you a question. I go, dude, is it my material? I wasn't worried about the way I looked. But I go, does my show scream Trump supporter? He's like, no, your show doesn't. I'm like, okay, because I just want to make sure I'm not sending the wrong message. Because I'm really big about. I'm neutral. My show's neutral. I don't like to divide the room. So everything I do talks about divorce and kids, family, whatever. So I was beginning to think, well, maybe I'm skewing too far to the left and giving the wrong impression. Because people were just coming up and high-fiving me. I'm like, no, there's no high five here. I don't know what you're talking about. We are on totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
In my show, I've got a couple tiny little throwaways that are about Trump just to see how they react. Because if they don't like it, it's so small that it's not going to be a big deal. But if that little moment gets a burst of then I know, okay, we can do these songs. And if it doesn't, we're not touching it.
That's brilliant. Every comic's got that one little feeler joke or tag or something that you go, oh, good, I can do this next two. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, thank God I can do this song. I never get to do this song anymore. You know what I mean? Something you really want to do.
Right. Here's a 10-minute expose. You never get to do.
Yeah, it's good. Everyone, buckle up. Order a drink. This is going to be fun. I need a chair. Let's go. Bing. That's the best.
And if you're in the bathroom right now and you are a Trump supporter, you might want to just stay in the bathroom.
Yeah, just stay in there. It's not going to be good for you. And keep your red hat and just keep moving. All right, let's go to the board. Nobody's asking questions.
Have we raised any money? What's that?
No. I always say, when I say go to the board, it seems like I'm asking for money, but people make comments during the show, and I refer to their comments and questions. I'm looking to see if people have questions for you. Usually Brenda has a question. I don't see. They also make comments between each other, and sometimes it's like I'm not even here. It's like they're just, you know what I mean? It's like, remember the old AOL message boards where you would go in and type in a thing? It's like, that's what this is. It's like they don't care if I'm here or not.
Fantastic.
I'm just giving
What a great throwback.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I just dated myself hardcore, by the way, by doing that.
Hey, Brad's still got an AOL account. I've stopped making it because it's just not been doing any good.
He does. There's a guy that books a club in Nassau. It's called Atlas, or at the Atlas complex, and I just got his information. And they go, here's his information, and it's an AOL email. And I go, how accurate is this going to be? I don't know. I don't even know if I want to contact this guy for work. Okay.
My email address is just my name, steve@stevegoodie.com. And there's a lot of servers now, they expect Gmail or something like that, and they say enter a valid email address. Like, that is my email address.
Right.
I feel very unvalidated now.
Yeah,
and,
I do.
And they would accept AOL. That would be fine.
I have the same thing. I have Lenny at LennySchmidt.com. And I'll have to spell it for people twice. I'll go to LennySchmidt.com.
You've got a lot of consonants in your name and only one vowel, so that's hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. Look at you.
Very German.
It is German. Thank you very much. Okay.
That'd be a lot of Scrabble points.
It would be. I would score tons. So, dude, how long you been doing stand-up? How long you been around doing stand-up? How long have you been performing?
I started doing funny stuff in high school. So that would be like 1982, something like that. In college, I discovered the thing called the open mic, where you could be a rock star for your friends. Mm-hmm. It was awesome. Recorded my first little project in a home studio somewhere in the town of Appleton, Wisconsin, where I was going to school, and spent, I think, $100 to record 2 songs, made cassette copies of it, and sold it to my friends at the cafeteria for $1.95 each, and actually was in the black.
Wow,
and that was the first and last time I was in the black on a project. It was really amazing. And then I wandered around the country on a motorcycle, because that's what you do. Wound up in Gainesville, Florida. Did some more performing, and also found a recording studio that if I just begged long enough, they hired me. And so I was performing and learning how to work electronic stuff. And those are my 2 things. They've always been my 2 things. And then wound up moving to Nashville, opening my own studio, wandering into Zanies in Nashville, saying, can I perform on your stage? I have funny songs. They said, go do this open mic. We'll come see you. So I did an open mic out in Bellevue. Met a lot of other comedians out there, some of whom you might know. Lawrence Thomas. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Of course, yeah.
Tim Northern, a bunch of guys. And I think Brad might have played there. I don't know exactly where I met Brad. And then moved to LA in 97 to try to get more comedy going, wound up getting more music going, and then moved back to Nashville in 2005 for a girl. And then that ended. But I'm still here because I've got the Bluebird, and I've got quite a little niche here where I get to perform and do music and all that stuff and not have to have a job.
Well, dude, you get your own home studio. That's brilliant. That's a great setup for you. You know what I mean? It's a really good scenario. And it helped you, man. It helped a lot through COVID to have that. Everybody I know that was able to work from home, if you were already established, you were at least able to keep working through it, man.
I was already doing it to some degree. I already knew how to, send tracks back and forth. Just had to refine it more to totally do it that way. But just another skill.
Nice. Yeah, that's great, dude. That's very cool. Yeah, I looked at your website. I loved your. I put your whole bio, your whole paragraph. Dude, that's the best paragraph ever. Once I saw that you wrote for Monty Python, I was sold. I'm like, oh, this is the best ever. I knew exactly. It's really
That's how old I am and how old you are.
Yeah, but it's brilliant. It is exactly it. I tried, dude, and I can't get. I have teenage daughters. I've tried twice to get them to sit through the Holy Grail. And it's something about that comedy. It just doesn't work, man. And it really breaks my heart. I'm like, they're
try some of their live shows. The Hollywood Bowl, I think that's the wackiest.
Okay,
give that a try if you can find that online.
Okay, I'll do that because I tried also Faulty Towers, John Cleese's Faulty Towers show, and I thought maybe it's closer to a sitcom. Maybe they'll get that more, but they just didn't buy into. They didn't buy into all of it. Maybe as they get older, they'll get, because they've always been really good with comedy. They have a really good eye for comedy. I taught comedy, so they were in classes. They've done shows. They do improv. They do all that stuff. So I thought that they would really, they'd get into it. But I was really.
They're having trouble understanding. Sometimes the accent's hard to hear through at first.
I guess I know, but I was never more heartbroken as a parent than I was so excited, to put that in. I go, this is gonna be bad, great. We sit down, I made dinner, let's have some popcorn, whatever. Let's put in the thing. You guys are gonna love this. So we get 5 minutes in, I look around, and they're just like nothing, and I'm laughing hysterically from the get-go. I know, it's so painful.
I've got a nephew named Danny who turned 8 last year, and I've been waiting for him to turn 8 because I wanted to read him the story Danny the Champion of the World by Roald Dahl. Same guy who wrote Willy Wonka and all that stuff.
All right, cool.
And James and the Peach. It's a lesser-known book, but it's called Danny the Champion of the World.
Okay.
What kid named Danny wouldn't want to hear that as soon as he's old enough? And I was reading it to him online, and he's just falling asleep. Like, God, man, when he's 9 or 10, he's being too old for it. Right now is the perfect time, and he's not interested.
You're like, wake up! You have no idea what you're missing here. Well, I think the style
of get a different kid. This is not working.
You screwed up. Get him out of here. Get another. That's smarter like that. I think the style of comedy obviously is a lot different now, especially now, man. I like one of the things I envy is like guys that can get to tell quick jokes. I did a show at the Ha Ha last night. I worked with Adam Hunter, who's a good friend of mine, but he's got some jokes that are 9 seconds long. You know what I mean? It's just da 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 da. It's a quick setup punch, and I've always respected that type of writing. I could never do that. I'm much more of a story guy, and I talk about situations. And I think people don't have the patience to sit through a bit or a piece or a sketch because everything is so quick and in your face now. You know what I mean?
Unless you can get a couple smiles through the setup, and then as a result of the setup, go bang, 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 bang. A whole series of punches. Like Bill Burr, one of my favorites of that. He'll do a little setup, and then it's pow, 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 pow.
Well, he's really good. He's really good because his setup pisses off 80% of the audience, and then by the end of all the tags and punchlines, he's brought you back. It's kind of brilliant. I could never do that either.
It is amazing.
I could never lose a whole arena, 9,000 people. Like, fuck this guy. What a jerk. And then bring him back like 4 jokes later. It's really good work.
I heard an audio thing when he was in Philadelphia and he pissed off all of Philadelphia.
Yes, it's a classic. It's on YouTube.
It is 20 minutes of him just saying "fuck you."
Have you seen the whole thing?
You didn't laugh at this guy. You're an idiot.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was. I know because he went up. Dom Herrera was up before him, who's a friend of mine, and Dom tells his version, and he got booed. And Dom's from Philly. He gets off stage, and Burr was so pissed, he went out and just backed on Philly for 20. And he did the whole time. It's a great clip because he counts it down 1 minute, and he's just going.
Just counting it down 5 more minutes. That's
dude. You know what? You gotta have some pretty big nads to stand in front of a stadium full of people like that and just go, "Your city sucks," and the more they boo, that's
say nothing else.
Yeah, yeah. The only difference then was he didn't try to bring him back. You know what I mean? He pissed him off and just left him. You know what? Done, and walked off the stage. Yeah, that's pretty classy. It's very impressive. Getting back to the Monty Python thing, also. I think the styles of comedy has changed so much because all those Monty Python TV show stuff, all of that stuff was from the 70s, right? Early 70s or mid 70s, right around there. And there was a time once in the 90s, I want to say early 90s, where John Cleese and Palin came on, I think it was Michael Palin. Yeah, Michael Palin came on SNL, and they did the parrot sketch. And they just did it live. And my brother and I watched it together, and we were so excited. And the sketch didn't do well. I mean, it just died with that New York crowd.
Wow.
And I was floored. I'm like, and my brother was angry. He was like, screw that. They have no idea. And it just didn't do as well as it always did. I mean, it's a classic sketch. It's a great sketch.
It's the Monty Python sketch. There's a giant dead parrot somewhere in London. They've put up a statue of a dead parrot. That's how important that sketch is. I think it's a thing of its time that still works for us. And probably still works for a lot of people who weren't alive at that time, but you'd have to gather them all in one room to get it to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a British thing. It's a sensibility. It's awesome. Everybody gets awesome.
My mom.
We like Kardashians around here.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. See, it's more of a. It's similar to, there was I'm trying to remember who, I think it was David Bowie made this statement. This is very relevant of now. He said that it's going to reach a point where it's not so much how good you are or how talented you are or the product you're performing. What's going to matter is who you are. That's going to be the most important thing, is who you are. And this is an interview. He did an interview. This is also, you can find this on YouTube. It's pretty amazing. And the reporter thought he was crazy. This is back in '68 or something. And he's like, someday it's not going to matter about the music. It's going to matter about who the person is. It's just about celebrity. And the guy's like, that's ridiculous. That makes no sense. So it wouldn't be how good the music or the performance is. He's like, absolutely not. All it's going to matter is who's in the room, not what kind of performance it is. And I think that's a bit like when you bring up Kardashians is a great example. All of these reality type shows, and even more so, not even reality shows of people we know, but look at these other shows that pop out of nowhere, like the Wives of Atlanta or the Housewives of whatever. Those people are no one until they're made a celebrity, and now everybody thinks who they are. You know, now everyone's impressed with them for what? Just because they're on a reality show.
Yep. It's the Lee Harvey Oswald effect. You're nobody, and then everybody knows you are, and then they shoot you.
Then they shoot you in the head. Yeah, right, perfect.
Not because you shot someone. That's probably why.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I was a big fan of all that early English humor stuff, man. I watched. My mom got me into all that because where I lived in Chicago, that was all late night, Sunday night after 10 o'clock. It was Doctor Who, and then it was all English. It was Monty Python, Faulty Towers, The Two Ronnies was a show.
The show, The Goodies. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember The Goodies. Yeah, absolutely. And
I didn't like it. I thought they were making fun of me.
Show's too personal. This is ridiculous.
A little bit. And Monty Python was after that. And if you watch carefully, you could see naked ladies every now and then.
They're on Monty Python all the time. I got to be honest. As a youngster, that was one of the first things that attracted me to Monty Python. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I was a teenager. What are you going to do? But and Benny Hill. Benny Hill always had topless girls running around. You know, constantly. There's a show. There's a show that could never survive today. You know, like nothing on Benny Hill. I think 98% of it was him as an old pervert. Everything he did was an old pervert.
And this,
the little guy, the little bald guy. God, I used to love that show. All right, man. Dude, speaking of Goofy, that's a great segue. I have another clip I'm going to play you right now. Let's do it.
All right.
All right. He can't lead us in because he has no idea what I'm going to do. So,
no idea.
Let's do it,
man. It's my favorite one.
Some words you've heard, they sound so naughty, but they're quite innocuous. Gosh darn it, by golly, you can say them in church, or in Abu Dhabi, or in Hobby Lobby. Probably. I had a cocktail in Bangkok watching Netflix about a pilot who dictates in the cockpit. Now I'm reading Moby Dick, sperm whales really sick, blowing out your blowhole. I'm plowing with my backhoe, yo. Your diphthong is cool, your uvula rules. You should masticate a kumquat and some head cheese too. My asymptote is straight, though I might asphyxiate, choking down some shiitake that I shouldn't have ate. My beagle bitch is a tracker, your shih tzu a slacker. Forget Tampa Bay, I love my Green Bay Packers. Astronauts get favors, circling Uranus like a concert pianist or president ignoramus. It's always gratifying when my shuttlecock's fly and I whacked it with my joystick. So satisfying. If it is or it ain't, is Peter a saint? All the tea bags in China made your mama faint. I might be out of line, you got a cute angina, your pussy willow's fine, but this is asinine. I got cotton balls, meatballs, snowballs, cheese balls, tennis balls, softballs, matzo balls, and sleaze balls, yo. There's a family of birds made up of naughty words like
cockatoo, peafowl, nuthatch, titmouse, woodpecker, sapsucker,
and swallow.
These words I've heard that you sound filthy, but I say I'm on the air and come back not guilty. There might be some more, yeah, I might have missed them, but you'll never lock me up in your penal system. Words.
Dude, I love that. I love that one. Dude, our talk about English comedy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm so glad you played that because I'm performing that in a week and a half at a funny music festival, and I haven't rehearsed it. So just now I was just going along.
I just saw you. I put a little picture of you up while you were. I saw you doing the words. That's very impressive. That's like that's right up there with Billy Joe. You ever see Billy Joe? The clip of him forgetting the words to "We Didn't Start the Fire."
No,
it's a really great clip. He gets about 4 lines in and then just stops, and it's at the Garden too, which is the Garden is like. I saw him at the Garden last year with my daughter, and right before everything got shut down. But it's the most supportive.
I was on a cruise.
He used to do it twice he does the Garden twice a month. It's like his gig. Yeah. So it's like a supportive audience of big fans.
He helicopters in from Long Island. Yeah. They plop him down. He plays the songs, they helicopter him back out.
Leave. So he forgets the line and he stops and the crowd is laughing and joking around and he's like he shrugs. He goes, "You try to remember all those words after all these years." It was great. It was one of the best shows I ever saw. It was like being at somebody's house and watching them just jam. It was really a lot of fun.
Cool.
Our English
listening to that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, all right. Our English comedy comments woke people up on the board. So now they're yelling out different. The Young Ones is one I forgot to bring up. The Young Ones, which is even that's a later one. That's not. It wasn't 70s. Yeah. The what?
And Blackadder, and of course Mr. Bean.
Oh, Mr. Bean, definitely for sure. Oh, right. Keith brings up Kids in the Hall, but they're Canadian, and also that's a Lorne Michaels gig. That was good though. That show was amazing. Yeah, Lorne Michaels produced the Kids in the Hall. I did
not know that.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a really good show. I thought it was awesome.
And Whose Line Is It Anyway started in England.
Absolutely. Yeah, the original version. And 2 of the guys from that show ended up on the version here. that they did on TV, and they used to do that live
Ryan?
version at the
Ryan
yeah. And they used to do that version. They used to do it live at the Improv here. When I first moved to LA, that show's popular. And Thursday night was like Drew Carey night, and he would hang out, and they did line live at the Improv. It was packed every night. It was a great.
I remember this because stand-up comedians would get mad. They're doing improv at the Improv.
I know. This is not. What does it say on the what?
And then Mitch Hedberg's line about they had to put an E at the end of it. You got to get better, man. Improve.
I like that. That's very funny. All right. Brenda has a question for you, man. Here we go. She wants to know who's a comic that inspired you to do what you do.
Well, the first one that I ever started memorizing when I was a kid was Bill Cosby. Sorry.
Oh,
but
wow,
it's true.
right on. Well, everybody's got that
still know a ton of
chocolate
stuff.
cake sketch.
My brother and I would do it back and forth with each other. My college roommate and I would do it back and forth with each other. It was just so iconic. But actually, Abbott and Costello maybe before that. My brother and I memorized Who's on First.
Oh, did you really?
It in Mad Magazine, printed out. Yeah. And I still do it in my act. A couple of years ago, I took a video camera down to my brother's house in Georgia.
Yeah.
We set up a green screen, and we did Who's on First with him on camera and me not, so that I could just erase me and have him, and I do it back and forth with him on a TV screen. And I say it's a satellite hookup to the audience, and it works. If I get distracted, I screw it all up. But if I do it right, it's actually kind of amazing that can work. So Abbott and Costello, Bill Cosby, Letterman, Carson, Newhart, Poundstone, Carlin, and a few others, and I can't remember who they are. You know, the usual ones. Pryor.
Yeah, the usual ones. I like Poundstone, though. Poundstone is one that people always forget. You know what I mean? She was, people are like, oh, yeah, Paula Poundstone. Man, she was a good comic. She was a great stand-up. Mm-hmm. I always forget Richard
great
Jenny.
improv, too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Richard. Well, as part of her stand-up, as you probably saw, when she would play with the audience, she could go on and on and on for 20 minutes just having fun with the audience. And it's beyond just crowd work. It's improv. It's amazing to watch her do that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, Jimmy Brogan stuff is really good. Jimmy Brogan, Jimmy Brogan, James Brogan, Jimmy Brogan.
I think you mean Seth.
No, Seth.
No, you don't. I meant Seth Rogen.
Not Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen? No. Brogan. The Brogans. No. There was Tommy Brogan lived in Chicago. Jimmy Brogan was the head writer of the Tonight Show with Jay Leno for years. So, and I just saw him. His whole act is working the crowd. His entire act is. So what do you do? Where are you from? But it's great. He's like really good at it. He crushes. So.
Oh, and the guy who was the voice of Roger Rabbit, whose name I always forget.
Oh, Charlie Fleischer.
You know offhand?
Yeah, Charlie Fleischer. That guy was amazing live. That guy live is insane. When I was coming up, he was a regular at the Comedy Store, and he would come out, and I would sit down and watch him. And sometimes he was pure improv to the point where sometimes it's so hit or miss that it would miss so far you would go, "What was that? Like, what was that last 20 minutes?" But then when
I was in LA, I did a set at the Laugh Factory, and I used my guitar. And when I was done, I was going out, and there's that little vestibule at the front door. Yeah. I was going out. He was coming in. He saw that I had a guitar, and he said, "Oh, can we jam?" And I'm like, "You're Charles Fleischer." And he said, "Yeah, but I got a harmonica." So we jammed in the vestibule for about 10 minutes, just blue stuff. Yeah. And then I had to go, and he went on stage, and that's my whole Charles Fleischer experience.
That's the best. He was legitimately crazy, I think. He was really a weird cat. Like, if you spent time talking to him or anything, he was just out there, But boy, when he went on stage and it went well, it was amazing. It was like a home run.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
The feat of memory, remembering what everybody has told themselves.
Yeah. He looked crazy too. He had this look on his face like he was always thinking of what. It was great.
He had a good comedy face and good comedy hair because who would want that face or hair?
A comedian would absolutely want that face and hair. 100%.
It's kind of the Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright's another one.
Oh, he's another. I love Stephen Wright just because he's such. I always love guys that are because I'm a high energy guy with my stand up. So, and I just love the art form. I love all versions of it. I don't care what you do on stage. If you work and you do a show, but I love to see guys when they do things I don't do. I'm like, man, that's so great. Like when I mentioned Adam Hunter earlier, who does quick jokes, and then guys like Wright's a good guy, and Franklin Ajayi. Have you ever seen Franklin Ajayi work live or see his stand up?
I've only heard him. I've never seen him.
He's funny. He's very funny, but his whole act, he talks really quiet. It's very, And like when I got to see him live at the Improv a couple of times. I had known him. I had met him before, but I saw him before and respected him and everything. But when I saw him live, man, it was mind blowing because he never raised his voice, but the whole crowd was like just really intense into what he was saying.
Yeah, hanging on to it. Margaret Smith was like that. Still is.
Oh, I love Margaret Smith. She's another great one.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great example to bring up because my daughter wants to do stand-up, which could be good or bad, but she wants to do stand-up. And she brought up women comics. She goes, most women comics, this is adorable. This is how hip my daughter is. She goes, every women comic I see, they talk about sex and men. And I don't want to do that, Dad. That's stupid. That just seems lame. And I go, well, and that's when I started throwing out names. I go, there's a bunch of comics out there that you can see that are actually really very talented, you can see. And I can't, now I'm drawing a blank on the
Maria, what's wrong with me?
Not Maria Menazzi.
No, although I loved her too.
Yeah, right. Didn't you? She was in a video with you, right? You showed me that, right? Was she in that sketch? Right.
Yeah. But that's not what I'm thinking of. Bamford. Maria Bamford.
Maria Bamford? Wow, she's out there. She
doesn't talk about that stupid stuff that your daughter doesn't like.
No, but
she's amazing.
She's another one you got to watch for a while because she's all over the spectrum. She's
so weird.
And so no fear and creative. You know what I mean? That's really incredible to watch.
She's inspiring because she talks about stuff that never would have occurred to me to talk about. It makes me think there's a ton of stuff I'm not thinking of. Just sit down and think for a second.
Right.
There's probably some weird stuff that has nothing to do with current events, nothing to do with men and women or airplanes or dogs and cats. That's just bizarre. Just watch a little Maria. It just makes your mind free up and think of something new.
Right. Yeah, and also another good one. I should have mentioned this earlier. Patty Vasquez is a great stand-up.
Oh, yeah.
And we both know very well. And the girl's actually been on a radio show a few times. And I'm like, you should watch her stand-up. She's another one that doesn't talk about sex the whole time. And her stuff is very solid. You know what I mean?
There's plenty. Back to Margaret Smith. I had to introduce her once. I was opening at Zany's in Nashville, and she was the headliner. And the club manager, Lenny, who you might remember, came up to me before we got started. And he said, listen, you're introducing a very quiet act. So I need you to tell the audience, okay, everybody, you're going to actually have to pay attention now. So that's what I did. After the feature act had finished his bit, I got on stage. Said, wasn't that great? Yay, tip your servers, blah, 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 blah. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a headliner now. I need everybody to focus and listen. If you're really going to appreciate this, you got to pay attention. Please welcome Margaret Smith. And the first thing she does when she sits on stage, well, I'm not that quiet.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
By the whole thing. It's like, well, I was just following orders. So,
I was just doing what I was told, man. I was just doing what I was told.
Oh, Bob Goldthwait. That's another one. Huge influence because he was so weird.
You know what? I love Bob too because I worked with Bob a couple of times in Kansas City years ago, and it's great to watch his stuff. You know, early on he had his character when it's over the top in the film, and then you see his stand up, and you're like, man, his stand up is really good. He's like really clever,
He's
well-written
really
stuff.
smart.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good work. You know,
and I had to pick him up from the airport. I'm sorry, from his hotel, and I'm driving in my 1983 Honda to the club. And I got Bob Goldthwait in the car, and I'm like waiting for him to do weird shit, and he's like, "So, thanks for picking me up. I really appreciate it. Has it been a good week? Yeah, I think we're doing all right. Yeah, okay. Nashville, huh? What's good about that?" And it's just a normal conversation. Like, do the funny. He doesn't, you know, he's just a guy.
He's just a regular guy. Mm-hmm. That's the best. All right, dude. I think we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go. I think I've covered. I played all the clips. I've done. I've done everything. Dude, I can't thank you enough for being on the show, man. I really love your work. I'm really glad that you took the time to be on the show, man.
I really appreciate it. Love your stuff too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You don't have to just say that because I said it. You don't have to.
I am, but that's all right.
That's all right. That's fine. You know what? Actually, I wish you wouldn't have said that last part. If you'd have just left it at.
You can edit that out. Right?
Well, yeah, but not in my mind. I can't. It's always in my mind. Like on the video, the internet will go, it went great. And in reality, they don't know I'm going to sleep in the fetal position tonight crying, going, well, I don't get the mutual respect. Doesn't seem fair.
It's just an honor to be on the LSQC186 Plus show.
Thank you very much. I throw as many letters out there as I possibly can. All right, man. Let's hang on. Look at this. Move this clip. Everybody needs to give my good friend Steve Goodie a nice big round of applause. Gosh, stupid audio. Yeah, there we go. Yes.
Oh, so gratifying.
Thank you. And not for me.
Everybody.
Nothing for me, but for Steve Goodie. Wait, hold on. Steve, one more time. Steve Goodie! And then me.
You know, it just doesn't get old.
Steve Goodie!
All right, it's old.
yeah, this was a funny joke. If I could play I have 9 different buttons. I need an assistant. All right, man. Steve, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man.
How much you do without a producer. It's really incredible, and I'm not just saying that.
No, I know. Trust me. I've gotten much better at this. This was way worse. You know, we would have never figured out the sound thing a year ago. Trust me. We'd both be staring. I would have just stills of our faces, and we'd be making comments. Thank you so much, dude. Stay safe, stay healthy, travel well, and take care of yourself. Folks, that is Steve. That's Steve Goodie. You guys were great, man. Thanks for being here again. Thank you so much. Oh, wow, we have nice. You guys were great. You stuck through the show. Very cool. Oh, and you're naming other women comics. Oh, look, there's more questions for Steve. It's too late. He's gone. I apologize. How long does it take to write for Steve to write a song? I think it takes Steve 2 weeks to write a song. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. Well, comedians, Brendan, you ask all the questions the last 4 minutes of the show. This is what happens when you're chatting with everyone and you're talking about what were you guys talking about? Netscape. Oh, we brought up AOL, and you guys went down a old Wi-Fi rabbit hole. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. That's it for this week. Next week, last 2 shows of this show. First of all, again, if you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to the channel. Bam! I will always be here. Even though this show ends next week, if you watch regularly, you know that I have 3 new podcasts coming out in the next 3 months. I'm very excited. We're doing some recording tomorrow, and then the Not Your Father show starts on Labor Day. I'm very excited about that, to work with my good friend, the therapist Robert Robbins, talk about kids, talk about being a parent in this generation. And then this podcast with my daughter, Lily, Big Schmidt, Little Schmidt. So there you go. So if you want to support the show, subscribe to the channel. Boom. You'll get all the information on what I do live and all that stuff right there. Also, if you want to support, bam, you can do that right there. Check it out. You can go to lennyschmidt.com/ifyoucan, or honestly, go to any of those pay apps the kids are using these days. Venmo, Cash App. Patreon is my new, my Patreon page. Lenny Schmidt Comedy on all platforms. If you Google that, I will come up all over the place. That's the easy way to do it. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourselves. Next week, 2 shows left. 2 shows. Flip Schultz on Monday and Julia Bendis on Wednesday. That is it. That's the show. Thank you guys so much. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Have a good weekend. And as always, dream of Pinky.
Lenny Schmidt Quarantine Comedy was created, produced, and is hosted by Lenny Schmidt. We live stream on YouTube at 6 p.m. Pacific every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Special episodes occasionally stream or are uploaded on Tuesday and Thursday. Every episode is also launched as a podcast and can be heard on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. If you enjoyed the show, please like the video. If you really like it, share the video. If you really, really like it, please subscribe to the Lenny Schmidt Comedy channel on YouTube. You'll get updates on this and numerous other online comedy content that my dad produces. Check the info section below for detailed information on all of our guests. If you are a fan, you can follow and support them as well. Go to their page, like their content, buy their albums, purchase their shirt, any merch they may be selling. Anything you do will support performers, will literally help save the arts. In fact, if you want to support this show financially, just go to lennyschmidt.com/ifyoucan or Venmo at Lenny Schmidt Comedy. If you donate as little as $1 or as much as $10,000, it will help pay for the stuff my dad keeps breaking. If you can't pay for the comedy content, that's okay. COVID sucks for all of us. Enjoy the free show. If you want to find a way to support what we do, just subscribe to Lenny Schmidt Comedy channel on YouTube. That really helps a lot. Thank you for listening to my dad's show, and as always, dream of Pinky.